Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brian Shanae, and today I have a book review for you, and I'm super excited to do this review because this is an awesome book, and it's also a good book for children that have been experiencing when it comes to bullying and also changes in trying to pretty much just express that they're cool by showing off when it comes to, like, for example, their shoes, like the new J's that came out, or their new clothes, new hairdo, what have you. So the book that I'm going to be reviewing today is The Adventures of Ziggy, A Hero is Born, and this is the cover of it. It's an amazing cover. I actually really like this and the illustrations. But this is written by Lanice Wyman and Melody Brim, and it's also illustrated by Joseph Brim, aka Below the Brim. So stay tuned, and let's go ahead and get started real soon.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make.
Alright, and we're back. So like I said, I'm going to be doing a book review for this particular book. This is definitely a new book that is going to be coming out. I believe it's already on Amazon right now, so I'll go ahead and link that down below in my description so you can go ahead and get this book because it is amazing. This is a children's book. It's very insightful. It's trying to pretty much go into the minds of a child, and then you have to think of yourselves as an adult, like, I also wanted this attention from others too, and I'm tired of being bullied, I was tired of being embarrassed, and what have you. And so with this book, this has a couple chapters in it. I believe it has, let me go back, it has 4 chapters in this book. They're all very insightful chapters, by the way. And each chapter, it expressed something that Ziggy goes through and that he wants to express himself in a way. So first, with this book, it explains about the U-Turn Festival and how each bus was picked to win, or, for the parade, and pretty much show off the bus and their goods and what have you of that particular bus that was chosen. And so with this, we have Ziggy, who is a school bus, and he really wants to win. Has been inspired and has admired other buses that has been in this parade, and so he figures, like, maybe I'll have a chance, but I don't like myself. A lot of people are laughing at me. I need to do something in order to impress the judges and also prove to everybody how important I am and how cool I can be, and when it comes to my looks. But with this, his father said, you do not have to change yourself. You can be yourself. And when I thought about this, I thought about my own circumstances of when I was a kid. Yes, parents say be yourself and everything, but when you're in school and in that moment and you have people talking about your clothes or talking about your shoes, you think to yourself, maybe I need to change my style, maybe I need to change my hair, maybe I need to change my shoes, my clothes, how I speak, my swag, what have you. And so with this book, it breaks down into different chapters of what Ziggy does. And so he's pretty much tempted. He's like, okay, I need to fix this. First, I need to fix my tires. I need to, vamp up of my style of this bus. And so he goes to a couple places. He goes to an auto parts place where he changes his tires. Then next thing you know, after that, he goes in and tries to change himself when it comes to his looks. But then he realized that's not the answer. And so for this book, I really enjoyed this book. I read this to my daughter, and she loved this book. And the thing that I love the most is that each chapter, at the end of each chapter, they have discussions. So like the first one, for example, it says Chapter 1 Discussion Guide. And it goes forth asking really, really, like, crucial questions that you have to ask yourself and also ask your child. Like, let's see, making fun of another person and how they look is a type of bullying. How do you think it made Ziggy feel to be called ugly? If you've ever been bullied, what did you do? If you've ever bullied someone else, what can you do differently? And I think that's very important, and I really love this book because it brings out the importance of being bullied. And I've been bullied before when I was younger and in school, just because people call me fat, people call me ugly, people call me nicknames like pound cake, for example, and all that. And I really got tired of it. And of course, I talked to my parents, but I heard them, but I didn't hear them because I was still experiencing that issue at school. So I would change my looks, my dress, my hair, my clothes, my shoes, and everything, but that still didn't matter. I mean, sometimes people may look at you differently by how you look, but you're still the same person at the end of the day. And for this particular book, it makes you think of like bullying and how bad it has gotten when it comes to these kids and these children constantly being bullied because of how they look, their hair, their shoes, their clothes. And I think this is a very good book, especially if you have a child that has recently been bullied or is being bullied right now. I think this is a really great book for me, and I think this is something that I think all kids should read, because all kids and their families or parents should read to their children, because this is very important. And then it goes to the different chapters of him constantly wanting to change his appearance, and then after he changes his appearance, he realizes that being himself is enough. And I'm sorry, I'm really passionate because I really love this book. After I read this, I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do this review, because I've been bullied and I know how it was and how it felt to feel like you weren't enough. And then you had to have somebody or someone in your life tell you that you are enough and you are just as important as anybody else, regardless of what you look like, what you wear, and anything. And so I really enjoyed this book so much. My rating is definitely a 5 out of 5 stars. This is definitely something that every parent and child should read, because this is something that is still happening and is going to keep happening until something changes and what is going to be addressed. Especially the person that's bullying the other person. You have to think about, your child. Maybe you don't think your child is a bully, but maybe they are and you just don't know. And you read this book and then you think to themselves, with these discussion questions, you're like, wow, I have to think about, what am I doing in my actions? What is that person feeling when I tell them this? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is a great book for that. And then it goes, like I said, for each chapter it has a discussion guide. And so for chapter 2, it says, when Ziggy first realized that he had made a mistake, he thought he could fix it on his own. But when he tried, he just made the problem worse. How can asking for help get you out of an embarrassing situation? And that's another thing. When a kid is being bullied or whatever, they don't say anything. Not even their parents or nothing. They don't say anything and tell them that they're being bullied. And with that, this book will tell you, especially if you read this to your child, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask questions. It's okay to let somebody know what is happening to you. And I think that is very important, especially if you are a parent as well. And I definitely love this, like right here, these are the discussion questions, chapter 2 discussion guide. Love it. And this just is how can I explain this? I'm just really passionate about this, because this is a huge issue that has been ongoing, and every year is getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm glad that I have this book right here. I'm glad that I'm able to read this book, because there's a lot of books about bullying, but this is a different book, and in a good way, because in each book, like in regular books, yes, they have discussion guides in the back, but they're being skipped over. People don't read that. In this particular book, you have the discussion guides between each chapter. So you ask yourself these questions, and you also ask your child these questions, and you have a discussion about it. Or every night, read a chapter each night, and at the end of each chapter you read, just have a discussion before you go to bed, before you put your child to bed, and ask them these questions. And this will also help the parent as well, because you are pretty much in the dark. You don't know what your child is going through at school. And when you ask these questions, they are going to open up to you. I promise you that. I wish I had this book when I was a kid and my parents read this to me, or if I read this, because it will make me realize, someone can help me. My parents don't know what I'm going through. How can I communicate this with them without me feeling some type of way? You know what I mean? And so with this particular book, this is great. And let me see. If I go to the 3rd chapter, it's like I said, it's very insightful when it comes to asking these discussion questions. It's chapter 3 discussion guide. It says, Ziggy thought he was going to be in big trouble for all the problems he caused. How can it help you to share your feelings and concerns with your parents or an adult that you trust? And that's another thing, it's about trust. You feel like if you express this to someone, they're going to either laugh at you, or they're not going to help you, or they're just going to make matters worse. But that is not That is not it. If my daughter or my son ever came up to me and said, or asked me something, or anything like that, or how they felt, I'm not going to be mad at them. I'm going to help them. I'm not going to make them upset even more, or be upset with them because it's how they feel. When you express how you feel to someone, it's not something bad. It's supposed to just say, this is how I feel, and is there some, and as a parent, you're like, okay, thank you for telling me this. Thank you for letting me know how you feel. Let me fix this. Let me help you. Let me give you a better, insightful way of showing you being yourself is important. And so with that, that's what happens in the 4th chapter. It says, like, this one is because if you think about it and your child tells you all the things that you try to change, you think back in your past and what you did and how you try to change yourself in order to become popular or get attention. And so with the chapter 4, the discussion guide, it'll say, Pops also tried to change himself into something different when he was young, but learned he was important just the way he was. How do you think it helped Ziggy for Pops to share this with him? And you have to think about it like, when your kid thinks of their parents, they think, oh, they never got bullied. They were probably cool kids or what have you. But in the end of the day, everybody has been bullied some type of way. And I think some people don't recognize that or remember that, or either they were the bully themselves. Maybe they don't think they were, but that's another thing. But this is a great book. Even in the 5th chapter, it says, Pops taught Ziggy some great things about being a school bus. How does Ziggy being himself make him a hero? And can you become a hero this way? And also says, even though they removed the things added to Ziggy, he still asked his father to add reflective tape to his body. Explain how you think this change could hurt or help Ziggy. And for this, everything that has happened to Ziggy in this book shows that yes, he tried to change himself, but it wasn't helping himself. It was actually making things worse. And when his father expressed to himself about what happened to him in his past, and so he went back, and Ziggy realized that he's not perfect, but he loves himself. He realized he only changed one thing, and that was for the good, to help somebody else, to say, you know what, it is okay to be yourself. You don't have to change yourself because of how somebody else feels, because it's about you at the end of the day, and it's about how you feel. And so for me, this was also, even as a parent and as an adult, this was a great book for me, because sometimes I have to think about others, like my image sometimes, like maybe I need to change it up, who knows. And for me, this is also reminds me, and I want to tell you all this, to remind yourselves that it is okay how you look and who you are. Very okay. It is okay. It is brilliant to be yourself, because you know what? We are all different for a reason. No one on this earth is the same, and that is for a purpose, because everyone is different. Everyone has their own thing that they bring to the table, which is crucial in the world. If everybody was the same, life would be boring. Nothing would be exciting. Having different people in your life that are different is amazing, because there's so much things you can learn. And so I'm sorry, I could rant for hours about this book, because it is amazing. Because I'm a parent, and I want to pretty much, this reminds myself that I'm a parent. I need to let my kids express how they feel, and that help them be comfortable to come to me if something happens, or if they're being bullied, So this is very insightful, not just for your child or children, but for you as well as an adult, because I feel like sometimes adults forget about what they went through in school. And so this also reminds the adult of that too. But I love this book, and I recommend it highly and heavily, people. This is a crucial book. It is available on Amazon. Like I said, I will leave the link down below so you can check it out and you can get it, because it's amazing. The illustrations are amazing. Very, just beautiful. I love these illustrations. I like it. I like the colors. This will attract kids, everything. And it's a great book. And it's about, I would say, give or take, it's around 47 pages is the most, which, great. I like having long books and having discussions about things with my kids. But please, 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 this is a great book. Recommend it heavily. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button down below if you enjoyed this video. And also, when you hit that button, you'll also be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much, you guys. See ya!